Hello guys, it's Mayan and I wanted to do a quick tutorial on how to use the silicone molds. I have two example molds here that are big jewel brooch molds, and we're going to use that. We're going to need gum paste, and we're also going to need, I use clear vanilla extract to mix the dusts, and here we're going to use a couple luster dusts. I'm going to use pink luster dust and silver and gold luster dust, along with highlighter dust. So the brand that I use would be Global Sugar Art for the luster dusts, and CK. So I think I've mixed them. I have 3 from GSA and 1 from CK, so you can use whatever brand you're most comfortable with. And well, first I'm just gonna give you a quick demo on how I use the silicone mold. So again, these are food grade, they're bendable, flexible, you can use them over and over again. And when you use your silicone mold, just make sure that you wash it as soon as you get it, just to be on the safe side, and dry it. And then you get your gum paste, and if it sticks to your hand, do a quick rub of shortening. And when you have a smooth ball, press it in your mold and spread it out using your thumb. And the idea here is not to overfill it. So you spread it all the way to the edge of the cavity. Now you're gonna see that this kind of jewel mold has pointy ends, and sometimes it gets tricky when you want to reach that, and then you tend to overfill some of the parts. So don't worry about that. Just don't overdo it. You will eventually overfill some parts, but there's a way to remedy that later. It would be much better if you overfill it by just a tiny bit than to underfill it, because you can't build it up later on. So let's just say that this looks okay to me. You bring back some, press it back in, and then sometimes it's if the weather's fine, humidity is not bad, you can just pop it out and work on it. And for some people, you have to refrigerate it for a couple of minutes and then pop it up. So for the interest of time, let's just pop it out right now, and just be a little careful when you pop it out so that you don't deform it. So let's leave it here for a moment, and then let's try the other one for this other mold. I'm gonna list these new molds probably, I don't know, maybe later today. I'll give it a shot. Alright, when you put your gum paste in your mold and you feel like it's not enough or it's too much, then take it out and just start over again. It will be a lot better if you have just the right amount in there. Alright, so what you can see is me pressing it in as I go around and filling the cavity. Alright, and then again, this would be alright, I can hear my little baby crying, but she's with grandma right now, so I'm good. Alright. Okay, so like the other one, let's just pop it out right now and just see what it looks like. Alright, looks pretty decent. Not excellent yet. But when you compare it to the couple ones that I've dried since yesterday, these ones look a lot better than this. You know why? Because we took the extra time to trim it. Because there's a possibility when you mold jewel brooches that there's a little bit of gum paste that remains at the very end of the mold. Grandma's coming down with my baby. Alright, so use your cutter, and let me try to zoom in a little tiny bit. Alright, and do small cuts at the very end so that you trim the edge of the gum paste piece. Inspect your mold and see that all the extra edges are taken out. You know, you take the extra minute to do this, and it spells a lot of difference when you complete the mold later on. If you don't, and if you leave them hanging out like this, I can't think of a better word, but it will look sloppy at the very end. You know, if you just dust it, and then all the small imperfections are going to show. So take the time to do the tiny details, and then it will be worth it in the end. So same thing with this one. Use your cutter to go and take away the excess gum paste. You see that one? So coming from an overfilled gum paste brooch, you trim it just a tiny bit, and then there's a big difference. So again, take the extra minute to do this, and then leave it, because if you handle it, you tend to destroy all the tiny details that are already on the mold. So leave it, and then we're gonna try to work on these couple ones that I've dried since yesterday. Okay, now so we are ready to paint. So we have here the gum paste that we're gonna paint. It's dry, and it's better for you to start painting on your gum paste when it's dry, so you don't deform all the details that's already in there. We're also gonna use clear vanilla, this much, this small amount. Then I went ahead and put just a little bit of luster dust, like that. Can you see there? And then add a little bit of highlighter dust to it. When you make your metallic solution, I don't even know the right word for it, but when you make it, make sure that it's not too runny or too thick. If it's too runny, you're not gonna see the sheen, and if it's too thick, then it's not gonna come out smooth. So make sure that you have like a little bit of vanilla on the side, so you can adjust the consistency. All right, this is what we want, that type of consistency. All right, so let's see if this is good. All right, that looked good. All right, when you have a brooch like this, it's better to choose which parts you want to paint on, like this. So for this one, I'm going to make this silver and these silver, and the rest will be gold. Instead of just brushing on silver on the whole thing, you're gonna lose on that opportunity to highlight your brooch. It's easier to paint on it though, like to paint on it with just one color, but it's in the beauty, I think, is in the small details. So when you take your time to paint on it, then you're going to see the big difference later on. As I paint, you're going to see that I don't brush it on very heavily. It's like you're dabbing the silver on it, because the vanilla extract is going to evaporate. It has alcohol in it, and that's the reason why we use it instead of water. If you use water, it's not going to dry. It's going to be really sticky. So if you can see that, we only try to reach only up to the edge of the pearl, where the pearl is supposed to be. Very carefully. You can dip your brush, like charge it with the silver, and lightly dab on it. I think that's a lot easier than literally brushing it on. You will notice when you start painting on your stuff, you can do like several passes, but I would advise against it, because there are times when you're doing it for the fourth time, it actually takes away your first and second coat. For those who've tried it, you're gonna know what I mean. It doesn't help sometimes when you do it 4 times. Alright, so now we're gonna do the sides. Again, it's gonna take a long time to do this, but it's gonna be worth it in the end. Alright, so I'm gonna look for my finer brush so I can do the details for our next color. You don't have to use an expensive brush. I buy the lot, like $5 lots, and just dispose of them when you don't want them anymore. Alright, look at this one. If you charge it with silver, it looks like that. If you just brush it on, you can still see the white. So go back, charge your brush, and then dab it on the jeweled surface. And the liquid will take on the shape and stay there and evaporate. And leave the silver behind. See that? Alright, let me finish the whole thing and I'll show you in a little bit.